YouTube, welcome to my Ferguson VideoStar. It's a 3V31. It's a linear stereo machine, so fairly rare, from around 1981. I've just got the thing working. Someone has been in here before me to try and repair it and failed miserably. I'll show you what was what. Now, the machine now laces up and enters play. Now, firstly, there were screws rattling around inside the machine, so I knew someone had been in here before me. When the machine was turned on, it would try and eject a tape, even though obviously it was in the eject position. The eject light would flash, the take-up table would, the supply table would spin and then stop, and then it would finish up with the stop LED, which is this one, the stop LED just flashing. Now let me just turn the machine over and I'll show you what I mean from the bottom. Now, they really did build these machines well in 1981. This was still when top loading machines were still king. I believe it's a JVC mechanism. Anyway, back to the story. There was no capstan belt. This is the capstan belt. There was no take-up belt. This is attached to a clutch mechanism and an idler, which drives the take-up table in play and fast forward. These two belts were missing. No sign of them at all. The thrust plate, the bearing thrust plate for the capstan, was just hanging. It wasn't secured. Now, what was rattling inside was the screws for this. So I found the belts, reattached this. Now, the machine then still wasn't even lacing. The machine wasn't lacing. Now, this is the lacing motor, and there's also a small belt that drives, obviously, the mechanism to lace the tape around the head drum. This was loose. This screw here was half hanging out. Let's just wedge that up there. And what was actually happening, there's some micro switches here. There's one there which tells the machine to enter play mode, which basically engages this solenoid. This solenoid engages the pinch roller for the final to play. That's controlled by this micro switch. Now there's another micro switch just there, which basically should be engaged when the machine is in either stop or eject mode. Now this wasn't, and that was because the guides, the right hand side guide, wasn't sitting fully back in the stop mode. And what had happened, because this guy had tried he had changed the belt. It's a new belt on here. He had undone this. The right hand guide is under tension, so you need to hold it back whilst reattaching this motor assembly with its gears to engage the gears. So he hadn't done that. So this micro switch up here was open, which was just confusing the hell out of the mechanism. So I've reset the mechanism, and if I load a tape, you'll see it's not easy holding a camera with the machine on its side. Tape's loaded. Now we're going to play. And it's playing. Now, I got the machine to lace up, but I couldn't get this solenoid to activate, which engages the pinch roller to the capstan. That was this little micro switch here, which is also, there's another cam assembly. It wasn't quite reaching the top of the movement, but if I touched the contacts together, that would activate the solenoid. Now, I just couldn't get it to move. Literally, we're talking millimeters for this assembly to move up, and it just refused. I put it down to possibly wear, or he may have bent the contacts on here. So what I've done, cleaned them up. That didn't cure the problem. So I just put a bit of heat shrink sleeving over the plastic part of the switch. So that's made it thicker, and that now plays fine. And I've tested the machine, all functions, and it works no problem at all. Now just bear with me, I'll put the machine back where it was. So there we are. Problems are solved. Now it just needs a good service. So I've replaced the capstan belt, I've replaced the take-up assembly belt. The loading belt does need change, and it is slack. So you do need to help it eject a tape and sometimes take a tape. The only belt that the previous owner successfully changed was the lacing belt, which obviously engages the tape guides. Picture's pretty good. I have not worked on a VCR. Well, I've been on the railway 16 years. I was a delivery driver for 3 years prior to that. I left Sound and Vision Electronics in 1999. So 1999 would have been the last time I actually took a VCR apart. And never one of this vintage. It was all sort of Panasonic 90s machines. Panasonic, Toshiba, Sony. Never one of this vintage. Now this is linear stereo, which is different to hi-fi stereo. Hi-fi stereo, the audio track comes off of the head drum, helical scan. Now with linear stereo, if I just eject the tape, linear stereo was an earlier system, and it's basically your mono sound comes off of the audio head. That's the audio and control head here. But the audio track on the linear stereo machines is split in two to give you a left and right. It's a very short-lived system. The fidelity wasn't as good as hi-fi stereo, so it didn't last very long. But that means this machine does feature Dolby noise reduction. So, bit of a rare beast. So, my next job is to take the loading mechanism away, clean that idler with some rubber renew because it's very shiny. There's another idler just in there, which is the take-up assembly. Clean that one, give the pinch roller a clean, take path clean, re-grease the guides, and then put it back together and start playing some VHS tapes. Oh, it's the first time I've used my Ferguson portable as well. Paid 30 quid for that a couple of months ago. So very pleased. Great picture on it as well. See, the flickering is the camera. The picture itself is very good. Volume control needs a bit of switch cleaner.
Explain this to me like I'm a 6-year-old, okay? The entire street is clear, except for one small area under construction. This huge hole that is clearly marked and blocked off, right? Yes. You decide you must cross the street at this spot, no other.
Now this has got slow motion on this, so if we put it into pause, it's got a frame advance. You see it moving the tape? Frame advance, slow motion, it's advancing the tape itself, and there's a dial here which controls the rate of the slow motion. See that pulsing? You can slow it right down. Must have been an expensive machine back in 1981. I really thought this would be a lost cause, because when someone has been inside these machines, doesn't know what they're doing, you think, what have they done? And you think it could be a lost cause. So I really thought this would be a lost cause. So I'm really pleased. Okay YouTube, I'll be back when it's all back together. Bye for now. There we are. It's all back together apart from the top cover. Everything's back in place. Completely cleaned the tape path. The rubber idlers, treated them to some rubber renew. They were quite glazed over, but they're now nice and supple. Same with the pinch roller, and also these loading rollers were pretty hard as well and slipping. So I've treated those to some rubber renew. All back together. Annoyingly, I found one of the screws I was missing for the capstan thrust plate. Couldn't find it at the time, so I found another one from my drawers of spares, and then in moving the machine I found the one that was missing. So it's all working. Should now take the tape from me. Look at that. This is a bunch of tapes I was found at the dump. This is all recorded stuff. I think it's from '94. Oh, there we go. Let's see what adverts are on here then.
National savings don't pay commission to middlemen, so no one takes a cut from your money or bites from your assets. We don't hit you with any hidden charges. We do, however, have...
I've tested the audio output via headphones with a pre-recorded tape in stereo. It sounds okay. There's a jack socket there for headphones.
Security has never been so interesting.
Tracking.
Oh. The man from Del Monte, he say...
That's the tracking.
Del Monte, he say yes.
There is a new tenderness. A gentle wave of ice cream in a crispy wafer cone.
All functions work. There's the search. Oh, car adverts are always good. Sorry about that. I'm in an Audi.
I wonder how the house is going. We should never have come away.
Thank goodness I managed to persuade him to take a break.
Oh, it's not a car advert.
I mean, I saw so many terrible places.
Anyway, intelligent people don't watch commercials. There we are. So really pleased that I've saved this one. Okay YouTube, thanks for watching. Oh, let me eject it while we're on. Let's make sure the eject works. Clock's set. There you are. There we go. One Ferguson VideoStar 3V31 linear stereo with Dolby noise reduction from 1981. Thanks for watching YouTube. Bye for now.